What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of A Bunch of Marks. And yes, we're doing a video episode. I do believe this is our very first time doing a video episode because we have a very special guest with us today. But before I introduce that gentleman down there in the bottom left corner, I am going to introduce the three stooges that are also Marks with me. And I'm going to start
Hey,
with the
hey,
very
hey, I take
first. I am start with the very first person on my right. This is my lovely wife, Raven. Say hello. And the man to my left box is my tag team podcast partner. That is Josh Thundershaver. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up? How's it going?
What's
Actually,
going
I
on?
wasn't sure what the box
What's that?
configuration on your screen is compared to mine, so I wasn't sure who you were talking about at first. But yes, I
Oh,
am
it's
here.
all good. And then we've got our other, and this is probably the biggest fucking mark that I know of the pro wrestling business.
Yeah.
That would be DJ Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Are you
How
talking about
dare
like
you?
size or just in
Hey,
general?
hey,
I
hey, hey,
mean,
we don't go that.
and tonight, joining us on this episode of A Bunch of Marks, we have finally someone that is in the pro wrestling business. It's about damn time. We've only done 20 episodes and we've never had a single person from the business on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Don Clark. He is a promoter for Loose Cannon Pro, a brand new pro wrestling. That's right, there it is. A brand new pro wrestling promotion that is going to have their very first event in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and Southern Indiana,
Actually, it's your second
June
event.
20th.
My,
It's the second
technically,
event.
my second.
Yeah.
Definitely your second event.
Yeah.
It's going to be taking place in Jeffersonville, Indiana on June the 20th at the famous arena, which is also home of Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Academy. And we're going to be talking with you, John. And but first, we're going to talk about our first opening bout, if you will, the first topic at hand before we get to the main event. And guys, it has been, as of this recording, you guys won't be having you guys won't be hearing this episode till the very next week. But guys, this week had the last like 72 hours or so within the
Started
WWE. We something that I never anticipated I would ever read in my entire life. R Truth, Ron Killings, got released. He announced this on all of his social media platforms. Really announced it on
Literally
Twitter.
was the first thing I woke up to on Sunday.
Yeah,
I looked at my phone and I saw this and I was just like, what? If I hadn't seen it from his account, I would have been like, no way.
yeah. He announced it. Ron Killings announced it on his Instagram and he announced it on Twitter. And you know, I never would have imagined, guys, that this man would not have his contract renewed. So let's go ahead and do a little around the horn. Not only did R Truth get released, but Carlito got released. He didn't have his
Yeah.
contract, sorry, renewed.
Contract.
And then
No,
and then we also found out that Valhalla slash Sarah Logan also did not have her contract renewed, with the possibility of maybe even more contract non-renewals coming up in the future. Who knows?
There are
So
rumors.
The Miz.
I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. You know what? I want to start with our special guest, John Clark, tonight. I want to know, John. I know I got to put you on the spotlight. That's
Okay.
what we do here right
That's
away.
fine.
As we do right away. How do you feel about R Truth getting released, man?
Initially, I was completely shocked, but then I thought about it, and he's been in 20, almost 20 years. I think, what is he say, 18, 19 years, something like that.
Something like
17
that.
years.
Yeah.
17 years.
Yeah.
So I think it was a partial. I know the rumor right now is that he got offered a deal and he turned it down, but
That's what I heard.
they let Art Truth go out on his own way. And I think it was, they did right by him. But of course I'm a fan. I think they,
Sure. Sure.
I'm a fan of the WWE, will always be a fan. I may not agree with a lot of stuff that they do,
Right.
but
right.
I think what they did was right.
Okay.
And I think him and Cena allowing that to be his very last match in the WWE,
It
awesome.
It wasn't though.
Why wasn't it?
He had a match with JC
He had a
Mateo.
match with JC Mateo on SmackDown that week.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But still having
Yeah.
having that
That
match
moment.
with Cena,
That moment.
which
Yeah.
is great.
Sure.
What I don't understand is why he wasn't given a Legends deal or an ambassador deal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I am curious as to why you say that he went out his own way or he did this on his own.
Because the man's got plenty of things out there. His
Yeah.
music. He's a music
Mhm.
producer, music
Yeah.
writer.
Yeah.
And he's done what else could he accomplish in the WWE?
Well, the thing that makes me question that is the way he worded it in his announcement. He
Mm.
specifically stated, I was released from WWE. He didn't
Mhm.
say, I'm retiring. I chose not to renew. We didn't come up with a, compromise. Like he said, I was released.
I mean,
So that to me doesn't say he went out on his own. That to me says they didn't renew his contract.
Yeah, I have it pulled up here in front of me just so we can quote this correctly here. In the actual thing, he did state, and I quote, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who is along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, support, and appreciation you have given me over the years." And I'll make sure to include that tweet over top when I just said that there. I kind of have to agree. As much as I would like to think, and we kind of, I think it's kind of natural for us. We kind of want to try to give the benefit of the doubt sometimes, right?
Mhm.
Either to the promoter or the promotion, or in this case, the business. Um, and sometimes we want to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt to the actual
Grace.
person themselves, or
Right.
that too. Grace,
Yeah.
right? Me personally, there's a lot of things I've noticed that have changed with the TKO ownership. A lot of like ticket prices have been raised up. These storylines have been
Yeah.
pretty convoluted. With the whole situation with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, doing what he did, and that kind of
So
Yeah.
weird.
really screwing a lot of things up. And things like that. So I've always been one of those people that I like to kick down big corporations. I don't know. I just do it. And for me, it's um I think the honeymoon phase with Paul Levesque is kind of
Yeah.
over now. I think there for a while we all and I'm we're it's in our show. We're marks, right? And people don't like that term, but that's the term. We Whether or not you can be a promoter like John Clark, he's still a fan. We're all fans. We all love this business. We were even just having a nice conversation about this right before we started doing the show. And for me, it's a guy like R-Truth. I think he's like what, 54 now,
He's 52 or
50,
53,
something like that. He's like
54
mid.
years old.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's getting
Yeah.
mid 50. He can clearly work. He can clearly still do it. The guy is physically
Oh,
fit.
yeah.
He's, as far as I know, he's never ever been injured in the WWE. He's never had a big
Yes.
Has he? Has
He
he?
has.
Okay,
Yes.
there we
Yeah.
go. So I didn't remember that.
He
Came back from a big
severely
injury.
injured
Been
in
a while.
NXT. Yeah.
Okay,
I was
so
gonna say it's been a
outside,
while though.
but outside of that,
Yeah.
he is like a workhorse person. He is the kind of guy that I am going to do everything I can
Hmm.
to make sure he does not go to another promotion like AEW, for instance. It would be kind of weird to have him in TNA unless they did this whole I'm in WWE and you guys look familiar, like kind of funny, just kind of still do a
Yeah.
spin on that.
I'm for it. That
And I'm
would
for
pop
that.
the
I'm
shit out of
fine
me.
with that. Right. I would love that. I
Agreed.
think that'd be great.
That would be
However,
fantastic.
I just don't want to see him in anything that's not WWE product. He is to me the embodiment of the WWE.
Yes.
He is your icon, right? And yeah,
Yeah.
he never won a major world championship in WWE. Okay. However, he's one of those people that he's kind of like a Dan Marino in like WWE. He doesn't need a big title to be good. He
Mhm.
is who he is. I firmly believe that if Vince McMahon was still, and I know we don't like talking about that guy, but what I will say, and there's a lot of people that have said this,
I've heard this too.
is if Vince McMahon was still in charge, he would not have let him go. I am a firm believer in that. Vince McMahon always
Mhm.
had nothing but great things to say about Ron. Um, I've had the pleasure of interacting with our truth a few
Yes, you
times.
did.
Myself, he is a beacon of positive energy
Mhm.
that you just don't see in a lot of people.
I mean, and it's
You know?
genuine too.
And
It
he's-
really is
yeah,
genuine.
He's authentic, and not
Yeah.
many people are that way. And I think I'd like to think most of us who have met a lot of people in this business know you don't find a lot of people that are as authentic as a guy like Ron Truth Killings.
Yeah.
So for me, when he says here that he got released, I think I think if I'm going to take anything for his word, I'm going to take him for that. So I do believe that he really did get released. I think if his contract, and I know it has been reported by Sean Ross Sapp, who is somebody I know and I trust reporting a lot of things,
Yeah, same.
that he has said that his contract didn't
Get
get renewed. I feel what R-Truth was trying to convey to people is that WWE did not want to keep him around.
Mhm.
I did hear the rumor, like John Clark had said, that I guess there's another rumor that R-Truth was offered a lower amount
Mhm.
and he didn't want to take it.
Right.
And to me, it's how much money does like WWE make a week? But like I would say hundreds of millions of dollars a week now with these insane. You can, guys, if you're gonna keep anybody around, right? Throw whatever you need to keep him. If he needed the same deal,
Yeah.
you can give him the same deal. Fuck.
Mhm.
And here's what also upset me, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over because I want to hear what everybody else thinks about this, but this was the guy. He's I was watching Stevie Richards podcast, Steven Richards podcast. He is a utility guy. Put him anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You put him in the women's Royal Rumble. That shit was hilarious. You put him in money in the women's Money in the Bank. That shit was funny, right? The Judgment Day. That was comedy gold.
Gosh, that was fantastic.
He is literally your Joker card, and I mean that metaphorically and quite literally.
Mhm.
You can put him in any. He is the guy. He is your sixth man. That's what I'm looking for. That he is your sixth man. He is a guy that hey, I need you to come off the bench and come out here and do this shit. People love you.
He's like, okay.
He is universally loved and adored. And find me many people in this business that really love the person.
Well, and that was.
I want to add that even though a lot of people don't like the WWE 24/7 title, he reminds me of somebody. Crash Holly. Crash Holly made the WWE Hardcore title relevant. R-Truth made the WWE 24/7 365 days European TV title, IHOP Denny's title relevant. Every match he had was freaking gold. The ones with Kane, the one with freaking, that horrible football player, Gronkowski, whatever, made every match gold.
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Truth.
That's because he's your skit guy. He's the one dude that he is the company. He is the embodiment of the company man. He is the guy. We don't care. He does not need to be on top of the mountain. As long as he's at the summit, we're fine with that.
He's already been at the top of the mountain. We don't need him there again.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first ever TNA heavyweight champion.
Yep.
I think a lot of people
the first ever black TNA world.
Yeah.
All right, first black NWA world
title. He beat Ken Shamrock for that. The very first ever. Match.
The NWA world title, not the TNA title.
So,
but
yeah,
he was great as a heel, and when he was in TNA, like I loved it because he came in WWF as K Crush, getting rowdy, with the Road Dog. Yeah, well, he was K Crush, when he originally then it came K Quick.
Yeah.
I love the theme song. I mean, that was great, with him and Road Dog, and and then he left WWE, and then he went to TNA, became Ron the Truth Killings, and won the NWA World Title. Had a good run as the NWA World Tag Team Titan champion with Road Dog and Conan. And then he came back to WWE. I was excited, and then it was a SmackDown in Louisville. They had Ron the Truth Killings at a Cricket Wireless in Louisville. I went there because when it comes to autographs,
you're Mark
Brian Raven. I think outside the box when it comes to stuff.
He is.
You already know that.
He is biggest mark in the building.
Yep.
I will bring something that no one else is bringing. I did that.
We are professional marks. Okay, that's what I say about our show. We are professional marks for wrestling.
So I brought the Wrestler DVD cover, and Ron's like, you know what? No one else has brought this for the line. He's like, I like that when people bring stuff that I don't see every day. I'm like, I don't like that. I like to bring something different.
Of course.
And I love Truth, but seeing you dance for Truth was the best moment I'm ever going to have.
Yeah, I got to dance with R-Truth on TikTok. That was pretty funny. That was funny shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention too, just kind of like because we were touching on the, release, as opposed to like leaving or whatever. The reactions from not only, well, I mean, the fans wouldn't know, I mean,
Yeah.
but the Miz.
Well, hold on.
Mhm.
Before we get to that, I still want to ask. I want to make sure Josh gets his 2 cents in about this entire thing first, and we'll get to that.
Sorry.
Josh, what do you think about R-Truth getting released?
Well,
We got
Raven,
a
I
lot of
love
we got a lot of
R-Truth.
feelings on this. Yeah, what you thinking? What you think about this?
No,
Hey, Brian has talked most of the time about it.
it's true. It's nothing that really hasn't been said really because I feel like we kind of have the same feeling on the fact that like, man, he could really be that joke character for a long time, but damn, man, how long are we gonna make him get up there and sing and dance for our pleasure?
That's
Like,
what he wanted to do. That was
That's what he
all
loved.
Yeah.
him.
He loved it.
That
Yeah.
was him.
Here's what
So-
sucks. Here's what sucks real fast.
Oh.
I don't like the fact that he didn't. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll get it out. I'll get it out after you go. My bad.
Okay, Bert Kreischer.
My bad.
so
Right.
all I'm saying is if he's ready to be done, great. But if he's done because they don't want to just redo his contract, well, fuck that, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's literally a
Yeah.
character that everybody loves. Like, they're really missing out on some
Everybody.
opportunities. How many T-shirts in an industry where a T-shirt is a fucking commodity? How many T-shirts has R-Truth sold? And really, they need to be thinking about it that way when they come at him with the paycheck book, because
Well, I mean, he had the number one selling shirt with Ron Cena, and they pulled it like the day that he announced he was released.
They
Did you know
pulled it?
that? They
They
pulled it.
did.
It's not for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so upset
I'm
because
so
I really
pissed. I
wanted
wanted
to
one.
get one.
I
Yeah,
was gonna
I was
buy
gonna go buy
that,
one
and I'm
too.
so fucking mad because that is if I were to have a shirt right now to spawn on my body, it would be the Ron Cena shirt.
Mhm.
But yeah, they pulled it. I'm like, wow, so you just don't want to make money. Cool, that's cool. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
They don't
Yeah.
like fucking making money. Apparently, they also don't know how to fucking listen to people. But yeah,
Oh, well,
that
that's
was
been true for a while, but yeah,
that's neither here nor there. But that's really all I had to say on that piece because
yeah,
I was shocked. I was shocked and appalled
yeah.
I-
Yeah.
when I found out that
Pat-
it wasn't a bad joke.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee talked about it on his show today with Sheamus,
Oh, I didn't hear this.
and he actually flat out asked Sheamus, he's like, "How do you feel about Pat McAfee? Don't give a fuck, by the way. That's a lot of people give Pat McAfee shit. I love Pat McAfee, and it has nothing to do with him being a Colts player. It's
No.
not that at all. He is the most real fucking person that's going to talk about this, and you know why he's allowed to get away with it? Because he does not need WWE.
Nope.
He don't. That's why
No,
he
he's
does it.
Already
He
rich.
he was talking about AEW. He's like, what if R-Truth went to AEW? I'm like, you will never hear a single corporate a person that is exclusive to WWE ever say that. That's why I love him because
Yeah.
he is that
He does his own thing.
float over.
Yeah.
He can do that. And Sheamus was saying, and Sheamus made a good point today. He was like, people don't ever really stay gone from WWE, do they?
Mm-mm.
Like people will he's like Ron will find his path, and I would like to think he'll be back eventually. And then like Pat said, but what if we don't ever see him again until he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame? Because y'all know
Yes.
he's like without a doubt in the Hall of Fame.
First ballot.
First ballot, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but and I agree, but my thing is, if this truly, sadly, and I don't think that anybody ever really never comes back. Because I mean, dude, here's the thing: if CM Punk can come back after almost 2 decades of crowds chanting his name, anything right is possible. Okay, if CM Punk can come back after 2 decades of everybody chanting his name just to make Josh happy, anything. I know you guys love that. Anything
Love you,
is
Josh.
possible. So for me, but here's the sad part: if this really is the end of Ron Truth Killing's career in WWE, I'm going to be utterly disappointed that this man he should have had his own farewell tour.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
should've.
had something.
He deserves his flowers. I mean, he deserves the whole damn garden of them. All right,
Mhm.
like for the things. And there are those trolls who are like, oh, he didn't do shit. I'm like, bro, he did way more than you did. All right, this is
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Here's
only
what I look at it.
I have
Yeah.
only seen a handful of comments that
Yeah.
are just like, who cares, or he didn't do
Yeah.
much, or whatever. I mean, like, I'm seriously, I could probably count them on one hand, or
Yeah.
at least two
But
hands.
it just kills me because I think he deserved way more than he got. I was like, maybe, John Cena's last match would have been cool, I think, if it was R-Truth, not anybody else.
Right.
I think if R-Truth, because I got excited because when they did the press conference and they started incorporating, I'm like, ooh, okay, this could go. Do this they could stretch it out for a month between R-Truth and John Cena and just do some
Yeah.
funny shit. And I was even like, I hope they have R-Truth come out to John Cena's music.
And
he did. I was like,
yeah.
yes, and,
Like he's gonna come out dressed like him. He's gonna
and
have his
then
music, and he did.
and then John Cena just, pretty much squashes him, which I'm like, all right.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is how you redeem John Cena as a heel.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
But they blew it. I feel they blew this with R-Truth. I feel they blew it completely out of the water. So
Yep.
real fast.
Like when Truth got for
Yeah, go ahead.
me,
We gotta move
it
on.
hurt. It hurt just like when they released Bray Wyatt.
Chaw.
Yeah, man, that was deep.
Like
That was a deep cut. Yeah.
I was like, how the hell do you release one of the best acts in the WWE?
Storytellers. Yeah.
I
And then we got
mean,
him back, and we didn't even get him back that long, which
yeah.
really sucks. I miss
Like
that.
I really hope Truth does go somewhere and finish his career off because like he has a hell of a
Yeah.
career. I mean,
Yeah.
AEW would not be good for
It's gonna
him.
be weird. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. We'll talk briefly about Carlito. My thoughts on Carlito. I love Carlito. I'm glad he got to come back. I just don't like what they did with him when he came
I
back.
don't either.
I
Hey,
feel
he took
that
the PS5
Carlito.
with him.
He was completely overshadowed.
I feel like Carlito was just the guy in the background playing the video games all the time.
Yeah.
And
That's me.
and
Carlito was the
and
guy
I-
in the babackground being the funniest motherfucker on the show.
sure, yeah, sure,
Dude.
but
If
I
he
don't
was just like looking at Raquel Rodriguez, just
like,
shit
what's
was
up?
hilarious.
Yeah, for me, Carlito was way underutilized. I mean, a lot of people
Absolutely.
forget he made his WWE debut defeating John Cena for United States title. I don't think many people
Yep.
remember
That's
that.
crazy. I didn't know.
I was excited when he came back at Backlash in Puerto Rico a few years ago. I was like, man, this is so
Man,
fucking
that
cool.
was-
We got Savio
pop.
Vega that night too, which was insane. I mean, that Backlash was probably one of the best damn backlashes they've had.
I think the one thing that hurts Carlito is he's injury prone. I mean, great worker. I love his, what he does in the ring. I haven't
Sure.
watched him since OVW, but he's been injury prone. When he was last time he was here, injury prone.
Yeah.
It's just
I think what
and
they
that is-
could have done with Carlito was because Judgment Day is so big, and I really feel Judgment Day has just lasted past its seasons, right? Like I think Judgment Day needs to break up. That's a whole other
Yeah.
story for a whole other time. But
Yeah.
why not like send Carlito and maybe JD to NXT or something, or do like a NXT branch of the Judgment Day and have like Carlito
Yeah.
go there, maybe have him whoop on some people. Maybe even have
about-
Carlito win like the NXT North American Championship. Do something with Carlito
yeah.
where he feels like he's not just the guy in the background every fucking time. Because that's what kind of got
What
to
about-
me. Because Carlito's so great.
What about
I feel like
Carlito going
he's
to TNA to be with his brother? Because his brother's in TNA.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
But
I
he
mean,
did
that'd be great.
thrive in the background though.
Yes,
he did do
but
great.
he took the
in the
He said-
PS5.
but he did thrive in the background.
He did take the PS5.
He did
and
take the PS5. I'm not playing video games anymore. I did like that Dom wore a Carlito shirt.
Yeah.
On Raw.
I saw that. I was
Did
like,
you
"Is this a
see
shirt?"
where? Did you see where WWE did not want any of the talent putting over Carlito or R-Truth?
I did. Did you actually see that they told Rhea she was not allowed to wear her R-Truth shirt, but she had her R-Truth shirt on in a video that she posted, I think was on Instagram. She was like doing her makeup or something, and she had an R-Truth shirt on. I do like the fact that Pat McAfee said, "Now that's what's up." I was like, "Ha,
Yes.
that's my guy, and that's why I like those there."
On it, we're like,
You guys that shit on Pat McAfee, I don't like him.
Oh, dude, I'm
Dude,
all Pat.
Bro,
McAfee.
he's like if any one of us got to be a fan and got to do that, that's how we would be. We would be
Yeah,
we would be that guy.
He is
like-
such a bro, and I don't mean that.
Such a
in like
bro, dude.
And I also like the fact that he is a rider for the Indiana, like all things Indiana.
Oh, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have got the Rumble, a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, I feel, if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of fair.
Oh,
to say.
100%. And
I
I'm not
mean-
an Indiana guy. I don't like the Colts. I think they suck. The
That's why we think they
Pacers.
suck too.
Well, aren't you an Indianapolis Colts fan?
I'm a Colts
Yes,
fan, and
they suck.
you know what?
Yeah.
They suck. It's tough. We have to be honest.
I'm a
That's like being a
Patriots fan,
Cubs
so
fan for so many years.
Don't shit on the Pacers though. They're going to win the championship.
100%.
They're going to win the championship here soon.
Well, that's
I
what I was
think
gonna
so
say.
for
He
sure.
somehow got Triple H out there at a Pacers game.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Triple H
what?
on the Pacers.
You know he was only there because of Pat and the deal that they have with
Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So we and I don't know what much we can really say about Sarah Logan, man. She's a sweetheart. I've met her a
I
few times.
love her.
Doll.
Hmm.
She's from the area down here, Southern Indiana. She's from Jeffersonville. And the thing about it is, she was away for a long time. I kind of was not really at all surprised about
No.
that one.
I honestly
Then it-
didn't realize that she was, still contracted with the company.
I knew she was. Yeah, I just didn't know what they were going to do. And what do they do with her? I mean, the War Raiders are not the Viking Raiders anymore.
Right.
It's just where do you put her? Where's her? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but let's quit talking about the releases. Let's get to our main event tonight because we got this man John Clark been sitting here.
John
hanging
Clark's the main event. I want my money back.
out.
Huh.
We got we got John Clark, and once again, Loose Cannon Pro. It's a brand new wrestling promotion here in Southern Indiana, and they're gonna have an event on June the 20th at the arena. And when we put this up next week, I will make sure to put a link where you guys can get a ticket. So you can go get tickets to the show. I gotta know, man. So what is your background? Can you give our audience just a little bit of a background of you and the pro wrestling business?
Well, it starts way back in the USWA era. So
Oh, wow.
I grew up
Oh, wow.
in and around the business,
Okay.
down at the Louisville Gardens. So
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Okay.
I got to be around like a lot of the guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to name drop, but
Right.
if you know what was going around in USWA, I got to meet all of those people.
I do. Yeah.
And I was also very sick. So I was
Okay.
at Kosair Hospital, and Jeff Jarrett, I can't remember his valet at the time, Bart Sawyer, Flex Kavana, all came to the hospital,
Who's that loser?
Flex Cavan. I know that guy is.
and they all came to the hospital and seen me one day. That sold it for me. My very first
Nice.
memory in wrestling was down at USWA when Scott Hall,
Oh,
I
man.
was sitting front row, and like I guess this is like a dark match, or I guess they were all dark matches. But he got between the first or the top and second row, pointed at me and said, "What are you looking at?" And I cried like a baby. Bro, it scared the shit out of me. Like, what?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
why are you
He did a
attacking
great
the
job.
kid?
He did a great job. Good job.
Like, why are you attacking a kid?
Nice.
But that grew my love.
Yeah.
And I started training when I was about 16 years old.
Okay.
And I wrestled in and around this area, up and down the East Coast. Was I good? No. Was I an enhancement? Yes. And I was
Okay.
completely fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. That could I have done more? Only if I applied myself more. I got from it what I was putting in.
Okay. Fair. That's fair.
I take that back. I got a lot more from it than when I was putting in. I got a lot of knowledge. I had the opportunity to sit under the learning tree of Tracy Smothers, Isaiah,
Oh,
CM
wow.
Punk.
Nice.
Well, I didn't get to sit under CM Punk, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm
Sure.
a huge
Chris-
mark for CM Punk.
I mean, I could throw a couple more names out there because I was around when you started.
Well, I mean, of course. Well, who else? Who else?
Who
you
else,
thinking?
Eric? Who else,
Chris
Eric?
Hero.
Yes.
Oh,
But
Chris Hero.
So
Yeah.
I was around. I was around IWA locker room and BBW
Okay.
locker room too. So
Gotcha.
guys like
Yeah.
Chris Michaels.
Yeah.
All of those. He's actually on my show, June 20th. So
Yep.
shout
Nice.
out to Chris Michaels.
Nice.
So I mean, I got to be around a lot of these guys, Vic the Bruiser. So I got to pick a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
brains and absorbed a lot. Then in 2013, I left wrestling. I think I was 21 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Started doing event promoting at Trixie's. So I did a lot of concerts and stuff. I took
Mhm.
what I learned from professional wrestling and I applied that to concerts. And I developed the
That's cool.
loudmouth loose cannon, John Clark.
Mhm.
Okay.
I like it.
And-
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
I saw
orange.
I saw a few photos of your on Facebook of your character. That's kind of
I
cool.
mean, how many people can say that they got to introduce Jeff Hardy and Chris Jericho in the same fucking building? John Clark can say that.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know
I
that.
did.
Nice.
I did.
Nice.
But I also got
Mhm.
to run around with someone who's extremely famous right now, one of the biggest country singers. Not going to say their name, but
Okay.
I was with and around that person for I'd say 20 from 2013 on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and which is cool. I mean, that guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm not gonna. I
That's
don't
all
like.
right. You're fine. This is your time.
Yeah.
It's your time, man. It's what you're here for.
Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, I
absolutely.
kind of have a feeling who he's saying, and I just don't want to jelly or roll it.
But and not just him, not just him. I got the opportunity to tour manage bands.
That's
I got
really
to
cool,
drive
dude.
bands. So like
Yeah.
I got to be real deep into the music industry.
That's super cool.
I'm to
And
the
that was
point.
like
cool.
one.
Huh?
It's one thing that Tracy taught us because I was
Well,
there too. Like
oh.
Tracy taught us a lot, and we used it for different events. Like you used it for your concerts, John. I used it for my DJ gigs. Every time I would go DJ, Tracy would be like, "Hey man, how you doing after your gig? And, how's Mama doing?" Like because he cared. Tracy cared about what stuff that we did outside the pro wrestling business because
Well,
he knew we were taking our knowledge and taking it somewhere else, and that's where John learned to do his stuff at Trixie's.
that's.
And
Are you done
it's-
there, Eric?
I'm getting emotional over here. Shut up. I'm getting emotional.
I am. I understand it. You're putting me
Like-
over. You're putting me over.
He's trying to
And
put you
I'll-
over, man.
And I get it.
I'm
I get it.
trying to get a pay raise.
He can put himself over. That's why he's here.
I'm just trying to bust your balls, Eric. I'm sorry.
Don't be. That's what we do all the time on this show.
But the whole
Right.
Tracy Smothers thing.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know. I was probably 12, 13 years old, and Tracy Smothers was wrestling. Now I can't ever think of his name, and I don't know why. But he's a blonde haired guy. It was for XCW.
Okay.
Who was the owner of XCW?
Mitch Ryder.
Mitch Ryder. Okay, he was wrestling
Yeah.
Mitch Ryder. Maybe I
There you
was
go.
older
Eric
than that.
knows all.
Eric knows all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Eric
older,
would
yeah, I
do
was
that.
definitely older than that. No, okay, so this was IWA. I take that back. This was IWA in Charlestown, Indiana. He was
Okay.
selling pictures. Well, not him. His opponent, Mitch Ryder, was selling pictures of him in a dress.
Yes,
And
I remember that picture.
so it was a blue dress with yellow flowers.
Yep.
Why I know
Okay.
that, I don't know. But he said the next person that bought a ticket or bought one of those pictures, he was
Yeah.
going to go out and kick their ass. And of course, what did he do? Sold all of those pictures. So
That's
I
great.
adapted the fuck John Clark thing because honestly,
Yeah. Tell me about that.
well, you either like me or you don't.
Fair enough.
I took no, I mean a lot of people don't like me, and that's fine. I took the power out of the people who don't like me. I took it out of their hands and started making a profit off of it. And I took that idea from, Tracy Smothers in a dress. I know it's completely different, but at the same time,
Sure.
to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I applied that to a lot of things that I've done.
Yeah.
So that's the whole FJC. And
Okay.
I don't know where I was going with that. I totally got.
I think we were getting to how you kind of got towards
yes.
your music and the music career and how that kind of transferred over to you being a promoter.
Yeah, I was starting to think about Tracy really deep and then
That's
going into
okay.
other things.
Nothing wrong with
I feel the
that.
same way.
Yep.
In 2019, I was working at Trixie's from 2013 to 2019.
Yeah.
And 2019's Trixie's sold right before the pandemic.
Mm.
Yeah.
Trixie's was a concert venue / adult entertainment club.
Okay.
Well,
It
I was doing
was?
I was doing a lot of shows there and at Diamonds and a few other places. But because of
Yeah.
COVID, I
Mhm.
lost I lost out on probably 87 shows.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn,
I
that
lost my
sucks.
completely I lost my ass completely.
Yeah.
So I just took a break from doing anything up until like 2024. In December, I was asked to be a part and help out with a show with Shane Mercer. And I always wanted to
Right.
do I've always wanted to like do a wrestling show. I fantasy book like all of us. Um
Yeah.
and I pitched the idea to Tony. Shout out to Grindhouse Academy.
Mhm.
I love Grindhouse and
Yeah.
Reverend
Yeah.
Ronnie Roberts.
Absolutely. Oh
The
yeah.
guy
Absolutely love him.
the
Yep.
guy is a genius.
Yep.
And if anybody's looking to get into wrestling and can't afford OVW, I highly, highly, highly recommend going to Grindhouse.
Yeah.
They meet every Sunday at 10 a.m.
There you
Uh,
go.
come in there, sit down and watch it. If it's something that you're
Nice.
really interested in, talk to Tony or Reverend Ronnie Roberts, and they can
Yeah.
set you guys up. Um, I
I might have to
I
take
will
a Sunday and go do that just for
Mhm.
my own knowledge.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
I obviously I cannot take bumps at all. I'm at that point where I can't do that, but I would love to go and sit in on like a grindhouse class and just like get a
Yeah.
get an idea of it. Yeah, that's cool.
I think you should, Brian,
For research purposes,
for
because it's
research
what we do.
purposes.
So what we do
Would you
here.
take a bump?
What I can't take bumps anymore.
I was
I
like,
have,
oh,
I have too many.
How about
I have
this,
too many
Brian?
back. I have too
I
many
wouldn't
back
do it.
issues. Yeah,
Brian, you bump me, I'll bump you. There you
I ain't bumping nothing.
okay.
I think
I've done that.
I'm not
I've been-
Brian's doctor, but he shouldn't
I've-
ever fucking take a bump.
go.
I took too many bumps. I used to do like a little bit of backyard wrestling and shit when I was younger, and I can't do that no more. So,
I think we all have.
yeah.
Hell,
Yep.
I even did when I was a kid.
But yeah, so I pitched
yeah,
the idea. I
for sure,
pitched the idea to Tony, and he was like, "Why not?" He's like, "The worst that's going to happen is you're going to lose your ass." And I was like,
that sounds like a Tony thing to say.
I
Yeah.
was like, that deterred me. So I did what
Yeah.
AEW did with their first show.
Yeah.
I called it one off pro. Why I called it pro? It just sounded cool. So I just wanted to do a
Sure.
one off.
Yeah, see what happens, right?
See what happens. And I
Sure.
did 250 paid.
Hey, okay.
All
right.
And
there you go.
I was like, okay, this is cool. And so, the wheels started turning and I'm like, let's do this. And I got some people behind the scenes that are helping me out.
Yeah.
Some guys that are in the business and then some guys that are
Yes,
good
yes, Eric.
storytellers.
Yes, Eric. You're a mark for yourself too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Eric is, my DJ. He's the sound guy, but he's not, no offense to Eric. He's not in the loose cannon
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
back. You know
I
what I'm
get
saying?
you. I get
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I don't want to hurt his feelings because I know he's been a part of the inception.
I mean, hell, I've been in the arena DJ since almost day one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know. all
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
why everybody calls me the arena DJ because
That's very true. He's the lifer there,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Mm.
That's cool, man.
Uh,
So you basically like, it's like they say, get a tattoo. You're gonna want more. Is it kind of like that same feeling? Like,
Absolutely.
I'll try it. I don't think,
Mm.
I think that was kind of a very humble thing for you to do. Just like,
Yeah.
I don't have any expectations. I don't expect this to be a thing I even do. You didn't feel at all like you thought maybe this could be a thing I do when you did that first show. Was there never like an inkling of?
I'm not saying that I didn't already plan a show for June 20th, September 6th, and in December. I just said if all goes
brother, when
well,
I got my first tattoo, I was already planning my third, fourth, fifth.
I said if all goes well, let's do one here, and here.
Yes, I want a whole sleeve, bro. That's
Yeah. So my birthday is September 4th.
okay.
Tracy's birthday is September 2nd, and I'm doing a show September 6th.
Yeah.
which we'll talk about that when
Sure.
time
See,
comes.
he already bought a book and he's already got all the
Yeah.
dates planned. He's like, I'm only doing one, but I got like 20 already in the book. So you know,
So the plan originally was just to do 3 this year and then to see how it went, but then it picked up the way it did, and then I've got,
three
like I
turns
said,
into John, three turns to six, six turns to 12,
well,
12 goes to
so
24. You know how
now
this is.
I got 4 this year, and then I'm booking 5, maybe 6 next year.
Nice. Nice.
So, and it's
So,
just to
Very nice.
build a foundation.
so
I'm not trying
what?
to go ahead.
You're good. You're good. Why Jeffersonville? Why specific? Is it because of your ties to like Grindhouse? Is
Oh,
that the specific nature of that, or because I know a lot of people down here in Southern Indiana, it's a Kentuckiana thing with pro wrestling. There's, we got OVW running things over on the other side of the bridge, and down here it's kind of a little more feels a little more open, I guess is the thing to say. Is
Mhm.
there a particular reason why you wanted to start this promotion in Indiana versus going over to Louisville?
Good question.
there's a few reasons.
And you don't have to
One,
name them. You don't have to name a
no,
single one or
absolutely.
whatever you're comfortable with. Go for it. Yeah.
Like Tony, I've been around Tony since I was a kid. Tony offered, I don't want to say offer because I do have to pay building cost, but
Sure.
you know, offered me to use it there. And 2, I don't have a Kentucky license. To get a Kentucky wrestling license for a promoter is, I think, $250. I think,
Yeah,
just to
it's a
get the
lot.
license, but you have to have $1 million bond, which is a bit
Wow.
expensive.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah.
And
So
Not
it's a
good change.
I
it's a
did
little
not.
out
That
there.
part I didn't know about.
No, huh.
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
wild.
you gotta have a medical technician on site for no matter what happens. If the medical
Yeah.
technician has to leave, the show is shut down no matter if you're at the main
Yeah.
event or before the main event.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
you
I
got
learned that the hard way from doing MMA, and I almost caused a riot. That's why MMA quit doing Seventh Street because of
Sure.
that event.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Uh,
So that's the one obvious reason. What were
Mm.
other reasons? Was it do you like is it a location thing? Was it like I'd rather do a show in it? Not obviously the licensing thing, that's a thing. Was it what how familiar are you with Jeffersonville? Like do you have a background with the city and themselves?
none whatsoever.
Okay.
Other than like one of my
Same as
best
me.
friends owns a
It's a
bar
town.
over in
Oh, okay.
Jeffersonville. Wrong side 812. My fiance is
Okay.
from
Been
that
there.
We've been
area.
there. We've been there a
Yep.
few times. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, my best
Nice.
friend owns it. Trey
Oh, that's cool.
Landrum, and
Okay.
him and the drummer from Knock Loose,
Okay.
Kevin Kane. They
Nice.
own
That's cool.
that bar.
That's pretty
He
cool.
was
Haven't
the
been in
owner.
a
He was
while.
the owner of Trixie's, actually.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So they just took the idea, took it over to Indiana, dialed it back, dialed it down a little bit, um, made it kind of a rock bar and
Mm-hmm.
country bar. Shout out to them. They are one of our main sponsors for Loose Cannon Pros.
Yeah.
I almost said one off, but First Strike.
man.
They are our main
Right. I
sponsors,
like that.
and we are going to have an after party following our show
Let's
at
go.
Wrong Side
We'll be there.
812.
We will be
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
By the way, we
Sounds
are
fun.
official sponsor of this show coming up.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
We gotta put ourselves over for a little bit.
Yes.
We are official sponsor. We're so proud to be able to do that for that's something we like to do. We did it with our very first sponsored event was the upcoming Bullpen Pro Wrestling show in July. But you guys will actually be you guys are before them.
Yep.
So you
Oh,
will
sweet.
actually be our first official
Yeah.
event that we sponsor.
Canonically, yeah.
That was chronologically. God, I hate words. Anyway, I gotta ask. So, when you decided to go ahead and get into this, um, I've always wanted to ask these things because I've never really got the chance to sit down with and talk to a promoter, um, in this matter. What were some of those challenges that you faced? Um,
Oh,
like, did you already have an idea of like what talent you wanted? Like, was there already a list of like, okay, I definitely want to get this person, this person. What were some of those things that were kind of challenging for you to tick off the list to get this up off the ground?
so believe it or not, I do a lot of things for my friend Drake. He is one of the students at Grindhouse.
Okay.
I tell him this all the time, and he tells me to stop saying it. But I want to make sure that Drake is around the same type of people I had the opportunity to be around. I
Okay.
want him
Nice.
to share the
That's good.
locker room with knowledgeable people.
Yeah.
And our first show, I booked Cocaine. I booked Cocaine because I mean, he was an internet sensation. We would
Okay,
trade
let's
memes back.
go.
And so, I knew if we joked around, was like, I'm gonna book Cocaine. And he said, dude, that would be so dope. So of course I reached out to somebody that linked me up with them. And I mean, it was there. And then of course when I talked to Cocaine, I was like, yo, I know you're in JCW. Would you happen to have the Brothers of Funstructions? And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll get him. And I was like, it was like, boom.
Mhm.
I tend to step in shit sometimes and come out smelling like roses because I had no idea what I was doing. I know how to do a concert. I know how to book concerts.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
my depth in wrestlers had went away back in 2013 when I
I
stepped
got
away.
you. I got
So,
you. Yeah.
a lot of people don't know who I am.
Okay.
And
Fair.
so having to kind of rebuild all of that and reaching out to talent, my main worry and concern is they don't take me serious.
Mm.
Um,
That's fair.
and they think that I'm just a money mark and try to, gouge me
Yeah.
on prices. And I've had some people that hit me with some numbers that I thought was very insulting when I have guys who have been in the business for a very long time offering a tenth of what they asked.
Right.
So
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
that is something that I've
For sure.
kind of ran into. And to go back to your first question, you asked why that area specifically, why the
Mhm.
arena,
Yeah.
is because
Yeah.
I want to do an intimate show. I don't want to
Nice.
book a venue
Yeah.
that I am not able to sell out. Now,
Mhm.
once Loose Cannon grows
Mhm.
outside of, the arena 2 or 3 years from now,
Mm.
am I looking at other venues? Absolutely. Have I
Sure.
already
Mhm.
started looking? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
I know that it's going to grow? Yes.
Yes, it
Yes.
will. And we'll do whatever we can to help make that happen absolutely as well.
I got a question for you, John, or not really a question. It's something I've been wanting to tell you. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to hate each other's guts, but made up because we're men.
That was all the miscommunication. And then I was
Yeah.
an asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
John
have
Clark.
seen lots. I've seen a lot of fans from being a fan to a promoter, and they suck ass at
Mhm.
being a promoter. You, on the other hand, you had all your ducks in a row.
Mhm.
You had
Mhm.
everything that you needed for your first show, and it went off note. Well, only issue we had was I played the wrong song for you, and I felt so
Ah.
bad.
Hey, listen, it was a miscommunication. And
Yeah.
I cannot take full credit.
Hey,
I
do you need any?
had Go
Oh,
ahead.
go for it. Go for it. No, go ahead. I was the first.
I had a bunch of guys that I
Yeah.
entrusted to help me get that show together, that helped me run the locker room, that helped me run the back,
Yeah.
that, I sat under and I asked questions. Hey, what do I do in this instance? What can
Yeah.
I do next time to make this easier? And so saying it was me, no. I cannot take full credit for it.
Sure.
I'm just
Sure.
saying, like, all the people I've seen go from fans to promoter, they suck at promoting shows, running shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, every show that has been not Grindhouse, Girl Fight, Terry Harper show, they don't really draw. Paradigm, they draw a lot of good crowds, but these other people, they don't. Your show, a new show in a new promotion at the arena, damn, it drew well. Like, the crowd was hot every match. You ran a 2-hour show. I have not had a show that I've been on that was 2 hours. It was like, I was like, holy shit, we ran a 2-hour show. Fuck yeah.
And
You know,
believe
that
it or
was
not,
Hmm.
majority of those fans were not wrestling fans.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's good.
That was
Wow.
the first time they had come to a wrestling event.
So let me
Uh,
ask
Oh,
you then.
interesting.
So let me
mhm.
ask you then. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel knowing that you are now responsible for not only promoting being the guy who is the promoter now, and you're responsible for
Mhm.
the direction that this company goes, but
Mhm.
also how does it feel now knowing that you are responsible for introducing pro wrestling to people for the first time? What's that mean to you? Let me ask you that. It's kind of a deep question, so go for it.
Mhm.
No, it's
Mhm.
it's scary. It's very
Hmm.
scary, but
Mhm.
Mhm.
I love sharing my passion with people, and I want
Yeah.
people, so uh, this kind of goes back to the whole FJC. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
it was for people to yell out and subconsciously lose or gain endorphins. So there's a few objectives to, doing this show. One, giving back to this industry because
Right.
I am the LLC FJC and the wrestling industry is my business and I stand on business.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Tracy
As one
Smothers
should.
said to leave this place better than you found it. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
intend on leaving it
Mhm.
but better than I found it.
Right.
Also, I like doing this for the boys because
Mm,
wrestling has somewhat become a job and not what we grew up loving.
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's a
And
good
so
point.
I want the boys to
Good
have
point.
fun. But then
Yeah.
also in turn, I want the people that are coming there to escape the debt that they're
Mm.
living in,
Mhm.
the political
Ooh. Ooh, that's a
climate
deep
that
cut.
we're living in,
Yeah.
the I just lost my house to a fire, blah
Yeah.
blah, that was an extreme, but
No, I mean it's
you
a
know,
true thing. Yeah. Of
I just lost
course.
my dog got hit by a car, I'm
Yeah, of
depressed.
course.
I want you to
Yeah.
come there for 2 hours and forget anything and everything
Yeah.
outside those four walls
Mhm.
exist.
Yeah. And that's for me what pro wrestling is all about. Like that to me is why I feel pro wrestling, I feel more at home or around a wrestling ring
Yeah.
than I do
Mhm.
in my own home sometimes. Truthfully. Like isn't that's no slight to things here, but I'm just saying like for me it's I'm a big nerd. So
Mhm.
like I'll always we cover quite a lot of conventions every year. Like we go to like
We do,
small
yeah.
Alright.
conventions, large conventions.
We don't have as many set up
And
this year, but yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I always say when I go to a con that I'm like I'm at home, man. Like I'm surrounded by my nerdy family. And when I go to
My
a
people.
show, and it doesn't matter if I've never been there before, and I'm gonna feel the same way when I go to your show
I hope you actually
later this
come.
month. I will be there. I'm there, dude.
Okay.
When I
Absolutely.
look,
Eric's not
just
invited
like
though.
yeah, yeah, fuck. We just like you say fuck JC, we're gonna sell fuck DJ Eric shirts too eventually, probably.
Oh,
But
don't give him no
I'll take
ideas. He'll fucking
yeah,
take it from me.
I know he'll make money. He'll do it. No, but I feel that same way when I go to a wrestling show.
Hmm.
It's kind of like when you go see a movie. You're like, I know the lights are about to go down. I know there's going to be trailers. I am here for a movie. When I walk in, I see that ring, I get chills. It doesn't matter what promotion I'm at. If I'm at WWE, AEW, TNA, I've been to all three of them, um, or even the various amounts. Which I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna get on a little bit of a soapbox. So mind me for
Uh-oh.
a few minutes.
Uh-oh.
I
Um,
know, right?
a lot of people give us shit for living down here in this area, because they don't well, at least me. I've heard from some people
I was like,
living down here.
okay.
What I will say about this area is if you're a pro wrestling fan, and even if you're not a pro wrestling fan, okay, this is one of the best areas to live in because you're going to get so much fucking pro wrestling.
Hmm.
It took, for those who don't know, I did not watch pro wrestling for a very long time. I grew up with it in the 80s, 90s, stopped watching probably around pandemic era. I quit watching wrestling. And then it took that guy down there, DJ Eric, I gotta give him some credit, to get me back into it. And my wife got me back into it because she started liking it, and now we're here. And what helped
Just funny
immensely,
is that I actually started getting into it during the pandemic era.
right? But what helped me, I would say probably the most, is you are surrounded by pro wrestling down here. There is a lot,
Yep, yep.
and it's no slight to Indianapolis, which is where we're from,
Mhm.
which I think they're finally kind of getting into their own thing now with it up there. Finally, it's I wasn't around it a lot.
Yeah.
Like there for a while, I'll tell you this, John. I went to a pro wrestling show every week for like 9 weeks straight.
When you moved
I
down
went
here,
to
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, no,
Oh,
not
yeah.
not just down here. I went to like White River Wrestling with Jake Oman.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh,
We did like a bunch
nice.
of OVW. We went to Grindhouse. We went to when they
Did
used to
you
have
wasn't that when you
Derby
went to
City
TNA?
Wrestling. Yeah, we went to TNA. We went to Derby City. Actually, during that entire 9 weeks, I saw WWE, AEW, and TNA. That was like the coolest shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm even more of a fan now than I was as a child. And so for me, when I tell anybody that I'm going to go to their show, I'm going to go to your show. I will be there. I will be there.
Barring something major happening.
Of course. But for me, what I'm excited for is when I go to a show for the first time, um, I'm just kind of excited for it's kind of like, you can there's chicken, but then there's like KFC, Church's Chicken. What kind of I love chicken. I can't wait.
Indies.
If you tell me there's chicken, I'm there to try it. I'm that exact same way about pro wrestling now, dude.
I'm a lead.
You got pro wrestling.
thing.
I love it. I can't wait to try it. And I'm excited. I'm not kidding.
Actually.
I'm not kidding when I say I want to taste all the pro wrestling, as weird as that sounds, because I'm there. And
Yeah.
so when I found out from Eric that you were doing a show in Jeffersonville, I'm like, I'm fucking there, bro. I'm going to see that. I gotta go see that. And we are proud to be a sponsor of your show. That's,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
something that I'm glad that we're able to do, is be able to sponsor especially upcoming,
Mhm.
promotions and things like that. So yeah, we're absolutely, and anything
I
we
gotta
can
suck out more than John. I gotta say,
anything
working
we
a
can
show,
do. Well, hold on. Okay.
yeah.
Anything that we can do for your promotion, we will absolutely do to the best of our ability.
We gotta book Josh versus
seriously.
CM Punk.
You got to book Josh versus CM Punk. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So does
but-
Josh
That
not
match-
like CM Punk? I mean, I need to know
No,
this.
he does not.
Okay,
Oh.
tell
we
the
can
Lord.
we can talk more after the episode because we've talked to death on this show. But yeah, no, I have a transgression with Phillip Brooks that is transcended into the professional wrestling world.
No.
Yeah,
Did
He
he
will
hurt
never
you
forgive
at
him.
OVW or
He
something?
hurt him. He hurt him. He hurt his
you
pride.
hurt my fucking feelings, dude. Well, like I said, we'll talk about it later.
But-
oh man, I've been a fan
but-
of CM Punk since '98.
Oh,
Oh, he-
wow, that's a lot. You go way back. Okay,
IWA,
Yeah.
like,
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I used
Yeah.
to roommate with Colt Cabana, and CM
Oh
Punk
man,
had come
I
over a
love
few
Colt
times.
Cabana. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colt
I
didn't
mean,
like me for a
I know
little
he's
bit.
not I know he's not for everybody, and I understand that. I get it.
Well,
I get why.
he superstarred me and I mean, like, it pissed me off.
Oh, that
We were
sucks, dude.
roommates, and he superstarred me
Oh
at
no.
an IWA show or something like that.
Oh no.
And I was like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
And then the whole thing with CM Punk and him, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. I understand. So let's get to this talent you got. Let's talk about
Sorry.
the talent here. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
talk about
who.
the show.
Let's talk about this show. What can people when people come to see Loose Cannon Pro? What can they expect to see when they come to Loose Cannon Pro? And who can they expect to see at this show coming up on June 20th?
So, instead of using the talent pool that is always circulating around here,
Yes, the area.
and,
Yep.
I don't want to use the same guys that you see Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday
Mhm.
For
that
sure.
are in the
Sunday.
same building.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
So I'm bringing in guys from up in Indianapolis area, the
Ooh,
West
our
Virginia.
hometown area.
West Virginia. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, well, I got a girl
Right.
coming from West Virginia.
Love to hear it. Okay.
Yeah. And then I've got, some up in Ohio. I got I've got Joey O'Reilly and Rain Victoria from
Okay.
I
Zero
love
One.
Reign Victoria.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Okay.
Yeah, so like my deal is to bring in people and bring them to a new market, put them in front of a
Mhm.
new audience.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Yeah.
with Isaiah Moore, he's from Indianapolis. He calls himself the highlight reel, the walking highlight reel. And
I
if
know
you
that
watch
guy.
any of that
Mhm.
dude
I don't
is
know if I do.
money.
He is.
Yeah.
He's
Dude
he's
is money.
super talented.
Yeah,
Fuck
and
yeah.
he's
Okay.
bringing down three of his students.
Oh,
So
great.
that also gets them in front of more people, more area down here. Twist and Flip, they're a very fast-paced tag team.
Okay.
So you get a tag team match going on with a very fast-paced tag team. Then you get that old school wrestling with guys like
Josh up
Chris
here.
Michaels, that Memphis Midwest style with Chris Michaels. So
Mhm.
I want to cater to everyone.
Yeah.
That's great.
To the most of
And
that.
Chris,
I don't really have a comedy set in, not yet.
just make fun of the DJ. All you gotta do.
Card
I
is
heard our
Card
always
truth
DJ.
is
subject.
free.
Well,
Well, I heard our
if I
truth is
could-
going to be free.
if I could afford our truth, best believe I would drop probably 15 grand on him. Now, I do have things set up in the future where I will be
Yeah.
doing seminars.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That way, I would have a seminar for guys that are interested in learning the craft and for guys that are in the business to learn a different perspective. And, that's another reason why I
That's
want to
cool.
do
That's cool.
my organization. That's why I want to do Loose Cannon Pro is again to give back and leave
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
better than I found it.
Absolutely, man. That's fantastic.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love
like
Like the
that.
one thing I like
love.
is
Yeah.
like
Go
they're
ahead.
he's bringing Chris Michaels. I love Chris.
A
Okay.
He
lot of
hasn't been
people in
back
this
in this
area
area.
love Chris Michael.
Nice.
Yeah, he hasn't been back in this area in over 2 years,
Oh wow.
and I know that for a
The
fact
name
because his
sounds
last
familiar.
match.
I probably have to see a picture of my. If I saw a
Yeah.
picture, I'd know
He's
who he
Yeah.
on my flyer.
is.
Yeah,
He?
he is
coming
a
down the
former. Yeah, he is a former OVW Southern Tag Team Champion, light heavyweight champion. He has wrestled with IWA
Oh,
Mid South.
okay.
He's wrestled all over.
Yes.
Yep. He did stuff with WWE during the Attitude Era, like he was the enhancement talent. But here's the
Yes.
one thing a lot of people may or may not know: Chris Michaels won the XCW Midwest Heavyweight title. I don't know if you were there, John, from Simon Dean
Oh, I
at
love
Jammer
Simon.
Oh
Dome.
God,
Guess who screwed Simon out of the belt?
You.
Me,
you
because
did.
it was my storyline that Simon told me, hey, what do you want to make the blow up? I said, I want to see Chris win the belt. Okay. Simon dropped the belt to Chris, all
funny.
because of me. And I got
That's
to be
funny.
part of it. I got, like Simon told my mom today, like Eric got beat up by me. He was like, I slapped Eric across the face. It's on YouTube. It's got a lot of hits.
Oh, you seen him today?
Yes.
Where'd you see him at?
He's my banker in Louisville.
Yeah, he's a
Who?
banker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Simon
he had-
Dean. Simon
Simon
Dean.
Dean.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
he
thought you were
actually-
talking about Simon Says. Yes.
No,
yes,
no.
yes.
Simon
Simon
Dean.
Dean.
Simon Dean.
He
Simon
Yes,
actually
Dean.
my
hit me
bad.
across the. Simon Dean actually hit me
I-
across the head with a award where I gave myself my award. I was like, go figure. The DJ giving himself an award. But it was cool. Like seeing Chris come back. Because he was here every time. Like you don't want to oversaturate this area with talent, like John has talked about. I agree. And you don't want to use guys that's on other shows like Sunday, et cetera. Because
Now, I will say that I do somewhat have a working relationship with Grindhouse, to where I am able at times to use their talent, and it's only because it's under goodwill. Like there
Yeah.
are guys that I will be using in the future to help get them reps and put them in the ring with experienced men, like
Yeah.
talent,
yeah, it's
like-
more work for them.
Yeah, so like my first show, March 1st, one
Yeah.
off. I put
Mhm.
Grindhouse, we are grindhouse.com champion
Yep.
against Myron Reed. So I put
Oh
Eli
God, I
Cruz
But
love
love
Myron
Myron.
Reed. Man, we love
versus
Yes.
Myron Reed. Yes.
Yeah.
He's
So I
great.
knew that I knew Eli Cruz would learn
Yeah.
from him, and I was like, this is why this has to happen.
Yeah.
And then of course I put I put Robbie against Josh Crane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Okay.
familiar with Josh Crane you are,
I actually
but
know him
Josh Crane,
personally.
you know,
Yeah.
he's
Never
Yeah.
say die, Josh Crane.
yeah,
There you
Josh
go.
Crane. I remember when
Yeah.
Josh Crane and Reed Bentley, well, it wasn't Bentley too, but I remember when all of those guys started out
That's
back
cool,
in
man.
I do
2010,
too, bro.
2013,
Yeah.
in that
That's
area.
fantastic. That's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yeah, I
So,
was
you know,
wrestling like 2010. Yeah.
yeah. So when those guys, you know, when they were coming up, I
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Now that they are where they are now, why not
Yeah.
put them in the ring with younger talent that can help put them, you know, further out?
That's
That's what's
great.
up.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love when a business owner wants to give back because not to toot our own horn, but I'm going to do it anyway. Is we try to do that here, and I always try to do that with everything we do. We do another podcast called The Next Level. We've had like so many people, comedians, artists, people in the industry like video games and stuff, and we always try to give and then we're doing it here with having John on our show. Is we want our podcast to be a platform for other people, because where's the joy in stepping on people to get
Yeah.
successful? And I can definitely tell John that you don't want to do that. You don't want to come in and like you're, a big shot and trying to be the young buck in a way and look at me and my big badass promotion. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna sweep the Southern Indiana wrestling scene. And
I have
I
no
mean, I think
intentions. Go
and
ahead,
I
my bad.
yeah, I don't think you have any intention to do that. I think what you're wanting to do is you're kind of wanting to shake things up a little bit down here. And that is for me, I think that's kind of fun because
Mm.
you are right about the area. I will say, there's been lots of promotions down here that I've had the pleasure of coming to see. Uh, and I've named a few of them. And you're right, you kind of do see like the same people. And that's fine because being as I'm a huge Markham fan, I like seeing the same people. Sometimes I don't want to see them at every promotion.
Right. Yeah.
So when you tell me that you're gonna show me something I've never seen before, or may have never seen, or probably I'm not likely to see other places, that's what I'm talking about. That's where I'm like,
Right.
all right, like, because
Interesting.
because Popeyes and KFC can make a chicken sandwich, but what's on the sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, it's I'm excited. I'm excited
need
that
to
you're
eat
coming
Indies.
here.
Even the chicken analysis.
I have had Indies and they're really good too.
Which at
but
like where at in Louisville or in
Never had
Indiana?
Indies.
we had it in Indiana.
That's
did.
trash.
It's almost
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
trash. It's trash. Go to Louisville.
Okay.
Go to
Louisville's
the Fern
better.
Valley because
Oh, okay. We'll go over
Fern-
there and check it out.
We'll check it
We'll
out.
do it. We'll do it.
I'm an advocate. That was my first tax paying job, and I grew
Oh,
up.
there we
like,
go. Hell yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm
Did
really
multiple
close to their
times.
family. Huh?
Cool.
It's cool. Yeah. But for me, it's I'm excited. I'm excited that you're bringing this new promotion. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's in Southern Indiana or wherever. I'm just glad that there's something different because, like, I, being as someone who's watched probably more pro wrestling in the last 2 years of my life than I have in my entire life.
Sorry, not sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. I love it.
It's
I
fun.
want more. I want more.
Yeah.
And show me something different. And I mean, you can only reinvent like pro wrestling in your own way so many times, right? But it's not so much that you're trying to do that as you're just bringing your own flavor to
Well, so I was at OVW handing out flyers a while back
Yeah.
for the March 1st show, and I seen Adam
Okay.
Revolver, which I've known Adam Revolver probably since 06.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like Adam Revolver. He's great. Yeah.
And he looked at my flyer and he goes, "So what's the draw?" And I said, "The draw is to be different, not to compete." I said, "The draw is cocaine," and he goes, "How's that going to draw?" I said, have you not been on any social media? And he was like, I really don't do it, which I get. I mean, like the dude
Mm,
works at a 4-star restaurant. I mean, the guy is a teacher. He's in production of OVW.
yeah.
Some people have time, some people don't. And
Right.
and he
Sure.
was like, "So what's the draw?" And I was like, "To be different." I was like, "I have no way, I have no reason, and no
Mhm.
I, interest in competing with anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
If anything, what I really want to do is work with other schools, like
Mhm.
with Jake Chris School up
Mhm.
in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's a good school I've heard. Yeah.
Brandon Day with
Yeah.
his school.
Yeah.
Uh,
There you
and
go.
with 01, which is out in Illinois, with
You should work with Jake
Isaiah.
Omen's school. He's got a great school up there.
Mhm.
Well,
Thought
so
about Jake too.
that is in the works.
Let's go.
That is in the works.
I love to
That-
hear it. There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
is in the works.
Let's go.
And
All
yeah,
right.
so
All right.
that is something that is
That's what's
getting
up.
there. And that's the foundation that I'm building. I'm building a
That's what I'm
working
talking about.
relationship with these schools and
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
with this area.
Mhm.
That's good. I mean, and your attitude this entire time about it has been, a mindset of why does one have to be successful? Why can't we all be successful?
Mhm.
And
Right.
that's kind of how I feel because I've been a content creator for 10 years. I've been a podcaster for like 12. Um, I've just done so much and I try to give back as much as I possibly can to people. And like when we go to cons, I like love talking to vendors and trying to find out, show me
Mhm.
something different. That's who we talk to. People
Mhm.
were like, why don't you guys talk to celebrities? I'm like, well, one, they have people that we have to get approval for, but two, nobody talks to the vendors. I watch, it's like I'm sure John, you watched enough pro wrestling.
Mhm.
You've
Well,
probably seen, well, if you probably know what you would do different, right? And bring to the
Mhm.
table.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I'm watching, like, Raven will test. I watch a lot of con. I do watch
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
con videos because I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I do differently? Not that I'm
Mhm.
trying to be better than them or trying to like compete with them,
No.
right? Because but it's like I
Mhm.
want to do something that they're not doing. And in a lot of these con videos, they don't
Don't.
talk to vendors. And I'm like, that's like the biggest fucking thing at a con is the vendors. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
me and
Yeah.
giant vendor halls. So what we do is we go and I bring a mic and a camera and we do interviews with vendors. And they're just like, you want to talk to us? I'm like, yeah, you guys
Yes.
are the
I
star
want
of
to
the
learn
show.
from
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Like you guys are the star of the show. They're like, no,
Well,
but like so and so is over. I'm like, I don't care.
So
I
it's
care about you.
kind of funny because and for those that don't know, like I used to be a wedding DJ. So I'm gonna like kind of do this analogy.
Sure.
So when I was DJing, that's what we used to kind of like tell people, like, yeah, the food is great, the centerpieces are great, but at the end of the day, like after you're married and you're visiting with the family, the centerpieces aren't going to be what's keeping the people there.
Right.
Mhm.
They're not going to be talking about the centerpieces. You want somebody who's going to be like the kind of like the main event, so to speak, of the evening. Like music. Music
Mm.
is there, like to really like help people. And that's what I kind
Yeah.
of feel like the vendors are. You know what I mean? The vendors are the the glue that's, keeping
yeah.
everybody there.
Yeah, and
Keeping everybody there. Like the
that's
celebrities might be the draw, but what's going to
sure,
keep them there?
sure. And that's the
After
thing
they
is,
go and spend 2 hours, 3 hours in line, get this autograph, what's going to keep them
and I
coming
hear from
back?
so many vendors that they don't even have the promoter of those shows
Mhm.
talk to them.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, well, I'll talk to
Mm.
you, and that's what we're trying to do here. Like, would we love to have like I don't know Ethan Page on the show? Like, yeah, I would. But you know what? I don't think we're ever going to get Ethan Page. Maybe one day we will, and I would love to be able to.
We
One
almost had Ethan Page.
we did actually at one point,
Yeah.
um, but I'm absolutely satisfied, and probably even more so talking to John Clark down here because he's
Mhm.
in the thick of it. He's starting this up. You're starting this promotion up, and your mindset is just awesome. I jive with that, dude. Like you want to not only give back to this industry that you love, and I wish more people would do that.
Yeah.
in every industry. Like as a content creator, you don't see other content creators wanting to go, I want everybody to have no, you don't. You want you to be successful. And that's why
Yeah.
we always dare to be different. We are the one brand business, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that we we don't want to I'm not trying to pull someone from somebody else's thing, just like I'm sure John isn't out here. Well, I'm going to take fans from OVW and I'm going to take fans. He's like, no, I just want. I mean, of course, you would love those fans to come to your show, but it's not like you're
Well,
trying to say
yeah,
you can't go to OVW no more because you're coming to Loose Cannon Pro. Fuck that. We all want to thrive and
yeah.
Right.
and enjoy this thing that we love called pro wrestling, and we can do that together, and we can all have fun. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Now, the talent that wrestles for me can't wrestle anywhere else. Joking. I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I was gonna say, yeah, hold on now.
No, no,
Like,
no,
that's
no.
not what you were talking.
Now, don't get me wrong. When I want to book them on my show June 20th, and then in July they show up on Bullpen, that would bother me
Sure.
only a little bit. But it's like
Okay.
I want them to eat. I've
Sure,
never
they're
been
people
to a
too.
Absolutely.
I've never been to a Bullpen show. And I only found out about them. Well, they'll be their second shows in July, right?
Second shows in
Yep.
July.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think what
Third
my
show.
understanding is it their third show?
It's the third show. They
Is it
had-
the third show? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think I don't want to speak because I don't know, but
Sure.
I'm just assuming how they could have maybe shot themselves in the foot is going into a big venue and not having a base.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
I even kind of felt a little bit about that too when I went there too. But
Because there's
I
some
think
people that have wrestled for that company and was just like, if only.
Sure.
Never mind.
that's fine. You're fine. For me, it's I think I feel like a lot of times I'm over analytical of a person too.
Mhm.
So I don't want anybody to take it personal, like because when we come and cover, like we're going to be coming and covering your show,
Yeah.
and I'm a criticizer,
No,
um,
please.
but don't take it
Anything.
personal.
No.
It's not, and I
I'm
don't do it.
open.
I don't do it in a dickish way. I'm not a dick.
He really doesn't.
I don't do I'll give you a really good example. So we talked cons, which honestly, cons and pro wrestling are kind of like the same beast. You have a promoter. They
Mhm.
both have a promoter. They want to get people in. They have a draw. They usually have a big name.
That's a
it's
lot.
a
That's a
little-
lot of businesses. But
It's a little of the same, but not really. So
Mhm.
for me, it's they had a really there's a show called PopCon that we're actually going to have on our show next week.
Yep.
And they had a really awful show
Mhm.
back in like 2017, 18, something like that. And I wrote a
PopCon,
really
aren't they- Go ahead.
PopCon's in PopCon had two shows in Louisville and they didn't go very well at all. And then but they're based in Indianapolis, our hometown. They've been there for like a
Mhm.
decade. And I wrote a really scathing review. And these guys, I'm friends with these guys. Like we're like friends, dude. Like we've known each other for a very long time, right? And I have literally
Like,
been
hang out or
every.
anything.
We don't hang out, but like we know each other online, so that counts a little
The
bit.
PopCon family.
It's a PopCon fan. They're my family, right, from PopCon. So,
Right.
and these guys, I've been to every single one of their indie shows. We're about to do show number 12, I think now.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
This in about 2 weeks. It'll be after your event, and
Is that going to be in Louisville?
that'll be in Indy. Indy. They're not
Oh,
coming
Indy,
back to
okay.
Louisville. They're not coming back to Louisville anymore.
Oh, damn.
So, but
Maybe we could work on a
yeah,
working
yeah,
relationship.
yeah. Well, I know they're having WCWO up there. They're doing
are
a thing
they?
with WCWO. Yep. But hey,
Okay,
that
cool.
doesn't mean that.
That's
But that
perfect.
doesn't mean you never know. But and trust me, I've been trying to tell Carl and Les and all them, you guys need some pro wrestling.
Yeah. He's been trying to
But
tell them for
outside of that, I wrote a really scathing review about their show, and I'm like, I'm a reviewer, and I will not be bought. My thoughts will not be bought by anybody, and I've even had companies try to pay me great amounts of money for a good
Mhm.
review of things. I'm like, no, I don't do that. And I wrote a really scathing review about their con. And I didn't do it a dick way. I'm not an asshole. I'm just, laying out the facts. And you know what?
Mhm.
They were like, thank you for this review. And I was like, what?
Mhm.
Thank you? Like, what? They're like, no, we really appreciate you giving us that. Like, you're absolutely brutally honest. Like, review, and that's what we want from you.
And I
And so
think
for me, hold on, for me, it's when we go to shows, like, we did Bullpen Pro, we did a vlog there, which you guys can check out on our YouTube channel.
Mhm.
We'll do a similar thing with Loose Cannon Pro. I would like to do a vlog there if I'm allowed to. There, um,
Absolutely.
and maybe get to talk with a few people. But we'll talk about that. But
Yep.
aside of that, that's what we want to do. Is we want to go and we want to. We're not there. We're not coming in with this attitude of I can't wait to shit on your company, because that's not. I never want to do that. It's I want. I always come in with the mindset, and it's a very similar mindset that you have, John. Is you just want people to have fun and have a good time, and that's what I want.
Mhm.
And I want, and I'm, and I, what I want to do, what we want to do for Loose Cannon Pro, whether it's Loose Cannon Pro, Bullpen Pro Wrestling, Grindhouse, anybody that has us
Mm.
come out to essentially review your product. That's what I'm going to be doing.
yeah.
No,
It-
please do.
I want, it's for me to help you work out the kinks and let you know, like,
Yeah.
all right, like, um, because what I usually do at a show is I'll sit like in different places, I'll move around, and
Well,
because I want to be your eyes and ears out there, because you're too busy running
what I
the
was going
show.
to say is
you
that
know.
it helps that you have done this for so long and
Yeah.
not just, and we're not talking like you've just gone to a couple of conventions a year for the past 10 years. I mean, like there was a year we did like 3 in one weekend, I mean, like it
Mhm.
was insane. We will never do that
Yeah,
again.
never that again.
But I mean, you have the experience to back it up. So you know what to look for, you know what works, you know the ins and out of things, you know what's different, I mean, you have that experience. And I think that's what PopCon appreciated a lot too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not trying to.
the fact that you had been with their show in the inception as well. You've gone to
Yeah,
every single
every single one.
PopCon.
Yeah.
So it helps that you know what you're doing.
And just like just like PopCon, I mean, I'm down to go to as many shows as you will have me come out to
Mhm.
critique and do videos for and
Promote.
promote.
Yeah.
And I'm not even doing that really to gain. I'm doing it to help you.
No, I
Um,
definitely. Yeah.
I mean, because the thing is, there's no reason why we can't help each other out. There's no reason why we gotta, step on each other. And I think that's why PopCon has me
Mhm.
out. This is the 12th show in a row they're having me out again, and I'm just like, are you sure? Like, I asked Carl one time, he's like, you don't have to ask for Francis ever again. Like, you're fine. And I'm like, but I'm humble. I'm like, but no, I'm gonna fill out the press form.
Yeah.
That's just what I do. Like, I can't.
He's always like, I'm
Mhm.
never
Well,
assume that I'm gonna get
I don't like to assume that I get to do anything in life, like
Right.
cool like that. So, and the same goes for you, man. We will be there to promote you guys, and
Mhm.
and we've already started to do that for you guys. Is we got some stuff up on on our socials for you. Um, and seriously, if there's anything that we can ever do to help you guys out, let us know. I've done commentary, just letting you know. I'm
Yes.
Yeah.
always down to have a good time at the commentators table. That's something I love to do. I got to do that at BPW for the first time. I'm down to do that anytime, but literally anything except take bumps. That's the one thing.
Well, I'm
That's my
working on commentary right now.
There you go.
I had a commentary my first show. And then I've got a different commentary set this show. And then September I'll have a different commentary set
That's
just
cool.
so I can feel their vibe and also
Yeah.
give them reps before
Yeah.
I make the final decision on who
Yeah.
I want to be the voice.
That's a
Out
good way to
there.
be. That's a good way to be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I having finally getting to actually have this is our first real sit down conversation we've had at
Mhm.
any length. I feel really good about what you're bringing to pro wrestling as a whole. What you're bringing to, I know a lot of people don't like to say the word independent or indie, but
Mhm.
that's what it is. And I
I
think
love
that
the
you're
word.
bringing
It's a mud
a
show.
lot.
I'm doing a mud show.
That's
You're doing
fine.
an
That's
outlaw
fine.
mud
here.
show.
I'm here
bullshit.
for it. I'm here for it, dude. Seriously, we'll sling mud back and forth at each other if you want. But like at the end of the day, I'm super stoked, dude. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
The arena is a I feel like it's a legendary place at this point. I
Mhm.
mean, it's such a legendary building. It is a very intimate setting. I was just
It was
there.
shown on Wrestlers Netflix.
Yeah, it was on Wrestlers Netflix. I was just there about a month ago when they had with the guy from ICP.
Oh,
He
at
was the
Violent J.
Violent
Woo
J,
woo.
which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a great venue, and if you're in the area and you happen to be in the area, and you know what, even if you don't, come down, fly out, and go
Fly
see
out
Teleport,
for
Loose
sure.
motherfucker.
Cannon Pro on June 20th. We don't have too much time left. I think we've kind of went
I
over.
promise I will not play Nickelback on that show.
But
Dear God.
John, if you had to offer some advice to anybody, I know this is going to be technically your second show. What advice would you give to anybody that may be even considering right now as they're listening to us and listening to you about getting into being a promoter, like wanting to start their own thing? You think they should just do it, say fuck it and do it, find out? Or, I
Well,
mean,
you miss 100% of the shots you do not take.
there you
Um,
go. There you go.
and something that I've learned from a therapist is, and I mean, I treat almost everything like it's, I treat everything like it's a catastrophe. I work,
Uh,
I
I
work
gotcha.
on, I work on the thing that is in front of me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. There you
is how I'm approaching this. I am
go.
expecting
Okay.
it to be the worst. Only I'm expecting to lose my ass on this show. I
Okay.
have no high expectations. And technically, my very first show, I shot myself in the foot.
Hmm.
I gave one of the talents, which I should have stopped and stopped ticket sales, but I gave one of the guys who wasn't really selling tickets to go out there and
Man,
sell. Well, he sold
he,
Oh no.
35 tickets for $15 instead of me making that 35 bucks off of, the $20 off of the
Oh, I see. I
and so
see.
I gave him a cut. And this is something that I also do for local talent. Even, I mean, if I give them the option, you can sell tickets or I
Yeah.
can give you a guarantee. If you
Yeah.
sell tickets are $15, you get $5
Yep.
off of every ticket you sell.
Yep.
You could potentially walk out more than what you want as a guarantee, or you have the chance to not make money at all. It is completely
Sure.
over. It's completely up to you to get yourself over.
and
That's
that's one
fair. I
thing
think that's a fair
John.
way to do it.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
a fair way to go about it.
And that's how I did with bands too. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
I did a 70-30 split with these bands. And I was like, if you don't have 5 friends to show up to support you, you're in the
Yeah.
wrong business.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Like the tickets are 15, you keep 5.
Nice.
There you go.
There you
It'll
go.
get you gas. But well, I let Robbie, I gave him 35 tickets and he went and burned it. And he ended up walking out with more money than I did that night. And I was like, you
Oh
son
wow.
of a gun.
Yeah, I remember that night. I remember that all too
That's
well.
funny,
I mean,
man.
I'm not mad at him. Like I
Yeah.
put myself in that position, but that's
Yeah.
something that I learned from that first show.
You
John's
learn,
doing the
and
old school way.
it's a learning experience. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, with this being your second show, and really the start of this whole thing, if you want to get down to it,
Yeah.
you're going to learn a lot. And I'm excited to really get into this with you on the ground floor too, in a way, and,
Yeah.
and really get to see what you're bringing
The growth.
to the table, and then get to see the growth. That's exactly how I felt about PopCon,
Yeah.
because I got in on the ground floor on that, and I've seen
And Squared Circle Expo.
there and Squared Circle Expo too, which is another one of my other
My all-time
Oh, I'm
favorite.
so
favorite
jealous.
thing to do.
My all-time favorite.
My friends run that one and as well, and I love that. So, but well,
I
we're
need
gonna
to
go
get in
ahead.
contact with those guys
I can put
because
Oh
you.
I
my
got some
I can put you.
ideas.
I can put you in touch with them
Yep.
for sure. But guys, we do appreciate you all taking the time to listen to our podcast. And whether you're watching it here on our YouTube channel, please do us a huge favor. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Let us know your thoughts on pro wrestling. We talked about the releases recently. Let us know if you're in the area and you plan on checking out Loose Cannon Pro, which you just do it. Just do it. What else you got
You
better to
should.
do? And then if you're listening to us on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Google Podcasts, we're everywhere that you want to be, right? Isn't that the Discover card thing? Anyway,
That is us.
uh, but we do appreciate you no matter where you listen to us or if you're watching us. We do thank you very much for that. And you absolutely bet that I'm sure our next big video will be, of course, our vlog oh no, actually it won't be because we have next week we're covering the Speed and Excess
Oh
show
my gosh.
with
Yeah,
Al Snow and Sam Ford from MIT. That's something we're doing next week.
I'm excited about this.
We do
Oh,
very
that's
much
sick.
appreciate them. So
Mhm.
that'll also probably come out the same week, and then
Mhm.
we will do our vlog with John Clark and Loose Cannon Pro. So we got a lot of really great
Cool.
content coming up
Do.
for us here. We are a bunch of marks. We are the only professional marks in the pro wrestling business. And we do appreciate you watching our show, listening to us. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Look at that. Showing the merch. Showing the merch. That's right. And we super appreciate you checking us out. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Buy my shirt.
Bye,
Send me to Disney World.
guys. We'll see ya.